Hello YouTube! This is CN Maritime History here back at another video, and tonight I will be talking about the SS Hikawa Maru. The Hikawa Maru is a Japanese ocean liner that Yokohama Dock Company built for the NYK line. She was launched on September the 30th, 1929 and made her maiden voyage from Cove to Seattle on May 13th, 1930. She is now permanently berthed as a museum ship at Yamashita Park, Nakaku, Yokohama. Hikawa Maru was one of three Hikawa Maru class motor ships, all named after major Shinto shrines. The Hikawa Shrine is in Saitama in central Honshu, for which the Maru is named. Her two sister ships, both lost in the Second World War, were Heian Maru and Hai Maru. Hikawa Maru and her sisters ran a regular liner route between Yokohama, Vancouver, and Seattle. She had a reputation for service that combined splendid food and beautiful Art Deco interiors, and was nicknamed the Queen of the Pacific. Charlie Chaplin traveled on her for part of the round-the-world tour he made in 1932. Kano Jigoro, the founder of judo and Japan's representative on the International Olympic Committee, died whilst on board in 1938. In 1940 and 1941, before Japan's entry to the Second World War, hundreds of Jewish refugees from Nazi persecution fled to Canada and the United States via Japan, and many of them sailed on Hikawa Maru. In August 1940, a party of 82 German and Lithuanian Jews who had traveled via the USSR and Vladivostok reached Seattle on Hikawa Maru. Later, Rabbi Zerach Borhaftig and his family traveled east through Lithuania to Japan. They left Yokohama on Hikawa Maru on June 5, 1941, and landed in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, on June 17th. He described the trip as a summer vacation and with the war seeming to be so far away, although he said, "I didn't have a peaceful mind because of the strong responsibility I had to help the Jewish refugees with the troubles they face." In July 1941, the U.S. and other countries retaliating against Japan's invasion of French Indochina ordered the seizure of Japanese assets. However, the U.S. gave assurances that the liners would not be seized, so Heian Maru and Hikawa Maru continued their regular service to U.S. ports. In October 1941, Hikawa Maru became the last NYK ship to visit a U.S. port before Japan and the U.S. went to war. She brought U.S. refugees to Seattle, and on her return voyage she repatriated 400 Japanese nationals. This is the Hikawa Maru as a hospital ship. On December 1st, 1941, a week before Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor, the Mitsubishi Zosen dockyard at Yokohama started to convert Hikawa Maru into a hospital ship, completing work on her on December 21st, 4 days before Christmas. She treated Japanese casualties in the U.S. Task Force 8's attack on Kawajilan and Woje atolls in February 1942 and repatriated the seriously wounded to Yokosuka. On June 15, 1942, the Japanese cruiser Nagara brought about 500 Japanese wounded from the Battle of Midway to Hashirajima, where they were transferred to Hikawa Maru. Sorry, some of these Japanese atoll and city names are hard to pronounce. 3 times Hikawa Maru survived being damaged by mines. The first was on October 3rd, 1942, while entering port at Surabaya, Java. She was repaired in port and departed on October 10th. The second was on July 15th, 1944, when a magnetic mine damaged her off the Caroline Islands. A little information about magnetic mines. Your ship could be fine 5 seconds before it happened. Fine, seaworthy, good to go. 5 seconds after, your ship could be sinking to the bottom of the ocean. Powerful stuff. She stopped in Davao in the Philippines on the 19th to 26th of July, where her damage was inspected, and on August 1st, she reached Yokosuka for repairs. The third was on February 17th, 1945, when she was leaving the port of Singapore. Her stern struck a mine in the Singapore Strait, but she returned to port and was repaired. In March and April, the Mitsubishi dockyard at Yokohama made further repairs on her, and from June 21st to July 4th, she was dried off at Maizuru. This is her at Yokohama as a museum ship. Actually, she's not only a museum ship, she also serves as a restaurant on board, and you can stay there if you want. It's a hotel like the Queen Mary, or like the Queen Mary used to be. I don't know how long she's going to be around much longer. She seems like she's not going to be around. Seems like a gigantic financial piggy bank that you don't ever get your money back from. When Japan surrendered on August 15th, Hikawa Maru was one of only 2 Japanese. But by the way, before I continue, I would be very sad if I get to see Queen Mary gets to go, because unfortunately I have never gone there. I don't think I will ever get there, probably, simply because it seems like she's going for the next few months, and because of COVID I can't get to California right now. But I really hope I get to see her before she goes. Or at least, see her instead of go on board. But, you get what you get. When Japan surrendered on August 15th, Hikawa Maru was one of only 2 Japanese large passenger ships to have survived the war. The other was another hospital ship, OSK Line's Takasago Maru. Hai Maru and Heian Maru had been converted into submarine depot ships and were attacked and sunk in 1943 and 1944. The USA occupied Japan, and in September 1945, the Shipping Control Authority for the Japanese Merchant Marine, or SCAJAP, requisitioned Hikawa Maru as ship number 8022. She repatriated thousands of Japanese soldiers and civilians from the Pacific Islands, Korea, the Dutch East Indies, and China until August 1946, when she docked in Yokohama for repairs. In 1947, SCAJAP returned Hikawa Maru to NYK, which, despite her passenger capacity, ran her most as a cargo ship until 1953. As you can see, there is a very large gap between the lifeboat on the back of the ship by, the big docking bridge. Excuse me, my voice. And the actual, superstructure of the front. This is, where the cargo hatches would be, if I'm not mistaken. I've never really seen, an aerial picture, but I believe they would be, in this general area. Okay. Sorry, I lost my spot. So she was used mostly as a cargo ship until 1953. Her work included the general cargo between Japan and the East Coast of the United States, a liner service between Japan and Burma in 1949, and cargo and running iron ore from Thailand. In the war, NYK had lost 172 ships totaling 1.028 million gross registered tons, which may explain why the company used an ocean liner for any cargo. In 1953, NYK had Hikawa Maru refitted as an ocean liner and returned to her pre-war Yokohama-Seattle route. She remained on the route until NYK decommissioned her on 21st of December 1960. Her peacetime service on the route 1930-1941 and 1953-1960 totaled 238 voyages and 25,000 passengers. In comparison, I don't know how many passengers Queen Mary carried, but in the 1960s, over a 30-year period. Now, of course, if the war hadn't been there, she would have had more voyages. Queen Mary ended with exactly her voyage to Long Beach marked her 1,000th voyage. I will definitely be doing a video of the Queen Mary at some point. I definitely will. In 1961, oh, I forgot. I do have an aerial picture in here, so there is no cargo hatches, but that's where I would think they would be. They're probably up at the front in this little structure up here. Also, I do not know why, but there is a lighthouse here on the dock. You'd think they'd see the ship before they see the lighthouse, but who knows. In 1961, Hikawa Maru was permanently berthed at Yamashita Park, Nakaku, Yokohama, as a floating museum, hotel, and restaurant, same as Queen Mary. In 2005, her owners announced that they had suffered substantial financial losses and were seeking to sell Hikawa Maru. In December 2006, her museum was closed and doubts about her future were raised. However, NYK Line underwrote her restoration, which began in August 2007. She was renamed NYK Hikawa. They combined her 2-part name. Instead of Hikawa Maru, it's now Hikawa Maru, and was reopened to the public at Yamashita Park on April 25th, 2008. So this was the story of the Hikawa Maru, which is still going on today, as she still exists in Yokohama, and you can go visit her if you ever get to go to Japan, which hopefully I will get to visit her someday. Because she's a lot smaller than the Queen Mary, so she has a lot more chances of staying afloat instead of being a financial sinkhole. Because they've poured countless amounts of money in the Queen Mary. It hasn't worked. But hopefully it's better with the Hikawa Maru. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Smash that like button, and please subscribe. And comment down below so the channel can grow a little bit. Have a good day, and if you have any video suggestions, please comment below. I only have so many ideas. Have a good day. Bye.